welcome back. It's nice to
Thanks.
see you.
You too.
So we'll just recap a little bit. Last week we were just talking about struggles of veteran teacher and suffering, dealing with a little bit of depression, and it's spilling out into your home life, and it's kind of how we didn't really touch too much on all of those points. So how's it been since we last spoke?
Not good. I'm at my wit's end. I have nothing left to give my family at the end of the day. I get home and I just want to sit on the couch and drink my wine and nobody bother me, nobody ask anything of me. I have zero left to give them at the end of the day. And I just getting out of bed in the morning is such a struggle. I just have nothing left.
I can definitely hear that pain in your voice, and I sympathize. That's definitely a hard place to be. How is your family dealing with?
Well, my husband's pretty supportive, but my kids, I can feel that they're just, they need me, but they're just kind of oh, there goes mom again, drinking on the couch, don't bother her, so it's really starting to spill over onto them. And it's just, I feel like I'm a terrible example. Sitting and drinking on the couch, dishes piling up, laundry piling up, none of the stuff is getting done.
What would you say was the biggest obstacle at work, the biggest role?
It's just the same at work. They just keep adding stuff to our plates, curriculum and grading and committees, and oh, hey, there's this other committee and somebody has to do it, and it's well, there are all these new teachers and I'm the veteran, so I feel like I have to mentor the new teachers and take on all the committees and be on this subcommittee, and it just...
Does admin put that pressure on you? Do they ask you to be mentoring, or are you just feeling like you need to do that?
Yeah, the admin does put the pressure on, and it's kind of an unspoken, it's an unspoken, you have to do this, It's always felt like that all the years that I've been there. There's this expectation for everybody to be just so, and if you don't meet that expectation, then they're not going to fire me because I have tenure, but at the same time, they could make my life miserable by giving me all the hard kids,
Right.
And then that would just spiral into more stress and overwhelm. And
are there other teachers that have tenure at your school? Are you the only one?
There are some others, but my team is mostly new, so I feel like for my team, it's just all falls on me.
I can definitely see how being the leader is good, but in your case is kind of a negative because there aren't enough hours in the day, and I understand I hear your frustration at teaching kids and then teaching teachers at the same time.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. So it is a lot of pressure, feeling I have to be everything to everyone, and then I get home and I have to be everything to everybody at home too.
Right. Are there any middle teachers or anyone else to delegate, or can you say to a group of the younger ones, this teacher is good to ask, or can you just set them on their own and moderate from afar or check in instead of being right on top of them? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, they're good teachers and they can handle their classes. I just think it's showing them the ropes of the school is really probably one of the biggest parts of my job as far as like mentoring them. It's just like showing them the ropes of the school that has these really high expectations,
Right.
you know. So I want to be sure that I'm doing right by them so that they're successful.
Right.
And like I said, they're good teachers. But it's just like the expectations of the school that feels like a lot.
Would it be possible to time these things, like instead of like every day it happens, like put it in more manageable chunks? So like Mondays you zip out of there early and can take care of home, and then maybe Tuesday you're later, you know, is there a way to organize your calendar better?
Yeah, I could
Perhaps?
try that. I feel like I am there until, you know, 5:30 every night, and I know that doesn't seem like late for some people, but it's like, I feel like I could be there until 10 o'clock at night and never be done with my job.
Right. Like grading, or like what are you doing until 5:30?
It's grading, it's making parent phone calls, it's lesson plans, it's like organizing the disaster that is my classroom at the end of a day. You know, and I suppose I could be a little bit easier on myself. I mean, I am pretty hard on myself, and I feel like things need to be just so before I leave. So maybe it would be good for me to like set some boundaries and have a little bit of relax my standards a little bit and be like, okay, this is good enough at the end of the day.
I mean, could you like set a timer for like say 4:30, and then, you know, those are the days you leave a little earlier? Or are there older students that you can, you know, bribe with some candy and help with the cleaning at the end of the day, or the organizing, you know, like borrow them from another class with that?
Well, they could, but it wouldn't be as clean as it would if I would do it.
No, but it would get you started, right? A
Yeah.
little in that direction. I know. We're all
Yeah.
like so particular about those
Yeah,
things.
but I could definitely put those kids to work. They would, I feel like they do ask me if they can help, and I feel like they would, that would be a good thing for them to be involved in like keeping the classroom in order.
What would you say is your main priority? Like, would it be more physical activity? Would it be mental health? Would it be leaving at a particular time? What, if you were to, you know, put everything in a to-do list, what would be at the top?
Well, definitely mental health. I mean, I feel like I'm in a downward spiral, especially with like all the drinking that I'm doing. Like that can't be healthy. I mean, I'm not in a spot where I'm like having to drink in the morning to get through the day, but I feel like 2-3 glasses of wine every night probably isn't the healthiest thing, and I think that kind of contributes to my depression a little bit. So, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe I should start by drinking less. But I don't know if I can do that because I really like my wine at the end of the day.
Well, is it for relaxation? Is it to help you sleep? What's, you know, what was the first step to the wine, and what is it what was it accomplishing the first time, and what is it accomplishing now?
I think first it was like a relaxation, it's enjoyable, but now it's just like, get out of my way. I'm pouring myself a glass of, it's now like, it's avoidance. It's avoiding like having to deal with anybody at home. It's avoiding like probably handling the stress. Like that's how I'm handling the stress. It just like kind of shoves everything down. So yeah, I mean at first it was like enjoy, and now it's just like avoiding like really facing my perfectionism, I guess, and like feeling of overwhelm. And I mean, I guess I could enlist my kids' helping around the house, but again, it wouldn't be the same as if I did it myself.
Right. But do you think the struggle with being perfect, like in the classroom and at home, would it be alleviated to let a little bit of it go, because really the drinking is kind of letting it all go,
Mm-hmm.
like not at school but at home?
Yeah.
So do you think that might be making it worse?
Yeah.
Or are you still trying to maintain and drink at the same time?
Well, the drinking is avoiding, right? So I guess like things are piling up and I'm not getting anything done. So that's like part of the cycle of the problem.
So what would you say would be more helpful? Would it be to get a handle on the classroom, or would it be a handle on your house? What would you say would kind of give you the best mental health first?
Probably the classroom. I think if my job were less stressful, I'd be able to cope a little bit better when I get home.
All right, so let's focus on that. So let's give you some stuff to do for the upcoming week. Would it be? Could you, look at your schedule? Only you can tell like what is demanding and what you have to do with your other teachers. But set a schedule for next week, and pick 2 days where you might stay till 5:30 and meet with teachers, but 3 days you're out of there at say 4:30. And really commit to that 3. Set it on your phone. Get as much done. Do not put stuff in your bag to go home. Just like, oh, it's time to go home, and then go. Would that be, something
Yeah.
we can try for the upcoming week?
Yeah, I think I can do that. And I think probably making lists would help me. And if I just like cross stuff off, I think that would help me as well.
It's usually pretty powerful.
Yeah, but I think definitely setting the time that you're leaving no matter what at this time, I think that would help me to manage the expectations of myself at work anyway.
So if we set up next week with 2 days staying late, if you need to. I mean, I'm not saying stay till 5:30.
If I have to, yeah,
right.
right.
But maneuver those meetings or those conversations to that 2 days.
Yeah.
And then the 3 days you're out early. And then next time we meet, we can see like, how did that feel? What were the positives and the negatives? How, after, by the second day that you left early, did you go home and, tackle something? Did you feel a little bit better? Did you, keep in mind, did you maybe not have 3 glasses, but you only had 2? Be mindful, but be like observing of yourself, but not overly so, because the point is for you to relax a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely be more mindful of, like, first of all, setting my boundaries, and then, like, maybe making some boundaries at home, too, is surrounding the drinking. I mean, maybe I'm just have 1 glass instead of a bottle.
Wait till 7 o'clock, right. I mean, those are all good things, because, you never know your mindset if you say, okay, I'm not going to drink till 7, and then you get home and you've made dinner and you're doing homework with your kids, or something comes up, or a friend calls, and then you kind of forget, maybe that could happen. You'll forget that you set a 7 o'clock time, and then it's 8 o'clock, and you're like, oh, I didn't. Maybe that coming home early will just feel a little bit better.
Yeah. I like that, and I think that the timer, setting the time boundaries, I think that could really help me as well. To just kind of be like, okay, that's, this is the time to leave, and like, you can't drink till 7, and like you said, that I think that maybe, trying to keep myself busy and do other things, like, and engaging with my kids, that might actually help our relationship, and then maybe I won't want to drink as much.
I mean, we all get in that zone, forget the time, and then look up and like, oh my gosh, how is it 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, or 10 o'clock, I need to go to bed. Like,
yeah.
That's not like just an Emily problem, that's universal. We
Mm-hmm.
all, or what's that state of flow, I think it's called, when you're like really into an activity and you don't realize that you're hungry or thirsty or you have to go to the it's been 5 hours since you went to the bathroom. Everyone gets into that mode when they're concentrating on something, and it's not always a bad thing. And we do need like that reminder of a clock or something to be like, okay, it's time to put that away and move on.
Yeah.
So don't be hard on yourself that, oh, I'm there till 5:30. Like, you're concentrated, you're busy, you're doing something.
Yeah.
So maybe that sound will break you out of that concentration.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's time to go.
Time to go. Yeah.
All right, so you have
like
work
that.
to do next week. 2 nights late, 3 nights home. Try to observe yourself and your thoughts,
Mhm.
Jot stuff down if you want to. Keep notes of like what time you had a drink, and it doesn't, you don't have to share it with me, but it might be something good for you to look at on Saturday and go like, oh, look what I accomplished.
Mhm.
Look what I didn't drink, but I had this great moment with my kids.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works from there.
That sounds really good.
All right.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.